Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Hey guys, welcome back. This is your girl Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat.
Hey Moni.
Yes, and we're back, guys. It's the Fake Ass Book Club. Woo, another week, friends.
Yeah.
Another week.
Yeah, we did it.
Showing up.
Man.
Showing out.
Bull. Because you could have easily blown this off this week.
Man.
With the week you've had.
Did I ever wanna? It never even came up. It's so indoctrinated. I'm such a routine person that it's like, this is just something that I do. And this is something that I make time for, but also I'm tired. So just know that this show is for you guys and we love you. So we're here again for another fun episode. And just so you know, top of the show, guys, this is a sad one, okay? This is a old slavery book. And and it's not, I'm laughing at Kat's vocal abilities, not slavery, because it's never been, nor will it ever be funny, all right? But I just want to say that at the top of the show, because if this is something you guys are like sensitive hearing about or get bummed out, you know, this might not be the episode for you. But also, just like every topic, I feel like we keep things fun.
We do,
because
and
we
jokes
are
about slavery are funny.
I agree, they can be. So,
Yeah.
you know, even though that's not like necessarily the point, like this is an important
isn't a
book.
comedy book.
It's
not a
comedy.
humor.
It's not a comedy. And
No.
but I do think this is a piece of literature that should be something that if you don't know about, you should know about. So let me
And
give
it
you a
had a
little
happy
intro.
ending.
And it did have a happy ending.
Yeah.
So
So hang in there.
hang in there, guys. It's not all bad, okay? Oh.
Just like whatever's going on up there, it's going to end up fine.
People are dying here.
No, that was
Anyway.
just plastic. That was clearly not glass.
Okay. All right. So, guys, let me give you a little intro to the book this week. So, we're going to be reading incidents in the life of a slave girl. So, here's a synopsis. Harriet Jacobs' autobiography, written under the pseudonym Linda. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why, because it was
Linda
split up.
Brent?
Yeah, I was curious. It's the margarita. Linda Brent. Gosh. Now I'm reading like a enslaved person. Okay, let me go back. Harriet Jacobs' autobiography, written under the pseudonym Linda Brent, details her experiences as a slave in North Carolina, her escape to freedom in the North, and her ensuing struggles to free her children. The narrative was partly serialized in the New York Tribune, but was discontinued because Jacobs' depictions of her sexual abuse and female slaves was considered too shocking. It was published in book form in 1861. So that is the material we are getting into this week, you guys. Hopefully you stick around because I think this is a really important book. No, is that not right?
Well, no, it's correct. I was just thinking about what else was happening in 1861.
What was happening?
The Civil War.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
it was going down. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad I wasn't there for that, but
Me
I think
too.
maybe we'll be here for the new one.
I really do wonder what I would have been like in those times.
Probably how you are now.
You think so? I feel like I'm so
When you say that, what do you mean?
uppity. Like I've grown up
She
in
was
so
uppity
much
as fuck.
But once again, she was
Comparatively.
more privileged than the average
Yeah.
slave. And
She was
I'm
bold.
definitely, I think I've been more privileged than the average negress. So yeah, I probably would have had to. I'm just wondering if I would have murdered anyone. Because there were so many people in this book I wanted to just straight up murder.
Wow.
Now, to be clear to all our listeners, I've never murdered anyone. I really don't even like violence. Look at my upper body strength.
It's
Like,
just,
I can't murder anyone, but just the stuff that she went through
man,
and had to see like her people go through.
little stuff.
Somebody might have caught a little something in their coffee.
Listen, before we get into this, guys, let's dedicate the episode because we've got a
That
lot
went
to
straight
say.
to murder.
Yeah, we turned all the way up. So let's
down
take a
this
deep
cup.
breath, and we're gonna do our dedication like we always do. All right, let's stay grounded into the format of the show here. So, guys, hands over your hearts, everyone. Thank you so much, as always, for coming back this week, guys. We always appreciate you showing up. And as always, we want to start off our dedication with our patrons. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. my God, every single time I see our patrons on there, I'm like, yes, they're still holding on. Thank you guys. We appreciate you. If you guys were interested in supporting the show, please do tap in at Patreon.com/The Fab Podcast and show your support with us there. You get 2 bonus episodes at the $5 mark every month. And you can just show general support for $1 because you know what? We're doing the good work here, guys. Supporting literacy and having really fun conversations. Also, just as a general dedication from me, I wanted to dedicate this episode, it's 2-part, to Malcolm Jamal Warner. I know you guys probably have already heard in the news, you know, being somebody who watched The Cosby Show every Thursday with my family. He felt like he was part of our family, and to see him grow throughout his career and become the man that he did, he just seemed like a solid guy, you know, and loved his family. So I wanted to say a special shout out to him. I also wanted to give another side dedication to my dad and my brother. My dad is in Japan visiting my brother right now. And to my brother's dog, P, because he got sick and he had to do surgery and stuff. I know. I just found out yesterday. So P, this is for you. Hopefully everything is going good over there. Yeah, much love.
I wasn't ready.
Oh, no. Sorry, friend. Okay. All right. What about you, friend?
Yes, and to all of that, I feel like I have a bunch of dedications.
Do it.
First and foremost, the abolitionists who held in there. It must have seemed hopeless, but y'all made a way out of no way. Also, South Park. Man, y'all gave me life this week. Wow, they really came out swinging at one of my least favorite people, Donald Trump. So yeah, and over and bloated media conglomerates. So yeah, y'all let them have it. So I liked that. Also, my kids. Man, I love the fact that the United States government isn't allowed to sell my kids. That's great.
Anymore.
And also to the female engineer, I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm listening to too many male influencers.
You said it again.
The women engineers that redesigned the speculum after 150 years. I don't know if you've ever had a pap smear.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, they are uncomfortable. So finally, some broads got together and said, we could do a better job than this. There's so much better gynecological care now. And I'm really, really grateful for it because, man, there's so much going on there and we just don't need another problem. So yeah, dedication over.
Excellent, friend. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so let me see if I can find the stats on this book, friend, because okay, so you said you actually read the book. I actually listened to the audiobook, and I don't know. There was like 2 of them. I feel like this one might be abridged because this was just a 7-hour boy.
Oh, okay. So
which I needed for this week, to be honest.
So the one I had, I don't know how. I listened to the one on YouTube, and I got the physical book, or not the physical book, but the digital copy from the library and read. So I took turns, like depending on what I was doing. If I was sitting still, I'd read it. If I had to move around, I'd listen to it on YouTube. And I do have a little something about it because it was edited.
Okay.
By L. Maria Child, who had a foreword in it.
Ooh, okay.
So she was just kind of saying like, hey, I did kind of move some things around from her original copy just to make it make sense, just the
sure.
The order of things. But she said she didn't change too much. She understood a lot of people would have trouble believing it. But she was like, no, all this stuff happened. They had a couple people at the end of the book too co-sign on it, being like, hey, I saw all this stuff unfold. Like the only thing she did was just change some of the names to protect the people who helped her out.
Right. What a book, you guys. That's all I have to say. Yeah, it looks like the unabridged audiobook was 9 hours approximately. So yeah, I missed a little bit of it, but I feel like I probably got the gist of it, guys.
Yeah,
probably got the gist of it.
It was a bummer. Our protagonist, she goes by Linda Brent in the book, but her name was Harriet Jacobs. And I don't even know where to start. Overall, because I call her sort of the American Anne Frank, because she basically had to hide herself away for like 7 years to evade being captured by the people who thought they owned her.
So basically, so it says she was recounting her life as a young enslaved woman in North Carolina. She was orphaned at 6. And became the property of the Flints. So it was a doctor or whatever. And he basically spent his life relentlessly pursuing this lady on some sexual exploitation stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
And it really felt like she belonged to him.
It was, the oddest thing about it was, well, not the oddest, but one of the things that struck me was the fact that, like, there was always this sort of cosplay happening with the Southern folks trying to, like, pose as like respectable Christian people, but yet you know what I mean? Like, you're spending your free time whispering nasty shit into somebody who you don't even think you're saying doesn't have any real value, but you're expressing sexual desire toward a child in essence.
Like a 14-year-old.
Yeah, I'm like,
but you're a big grown self.
Yeah, and you're married and stuff
and
like that.
And then the wife is all mad at her.
Yeah, like it was really disturbing. And so I just thought about, man, like, the psychological torture of that, and like coming of age and then having somebody come in after you. So it's already weird when you're 14 and like in this setting, in this world, 2025, being 14 and having like a grown ass man saying really off the wall shit to you, but then being enslaved and knowing that you can't say anything back, and that low key, if you're alone with this person, they could pound. I mean, that can happen now, but yeah, it's state sanctioned murder, basically.
Yeah,
because
and
you're
actually, they
property.
don't see anything wrong with violating your slaves, because that's a great way to make money, because you can sell the light slaves made more money. You get more money for them.
It's crazy.
And
their kids are enslaved as well. So then now that's your property as well. So by default.
It was extremely disheartening. Now, one of the parts that was really beautiful, she was orphaned, but she was raised by her grandmother.
Yes.
And being someone too who had a very strong and kind, loving grandmother who helped me raise my kids, that was a deeply relatable part of the book. And her grandmother's fortitude and just sort of, once again, just surviving in these elements. I'm thinking about now about how, I'm complaining about the heat and stuff, because it is hot. Listen, I spent most of this weekend outdoors and it has been hot, but I wasn't working. I was just sitting watching my kid play sports and reveling in the knowledge that, because my daughter she just turned 15, so this would be an age when, if we were still, back when America was great, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, this would be a time when I'd really have to worry about her being taken away from me, really at any age, but especially at this age when she's, once I've spent all this energy and time, raising her, making her valuable, making her a strong, intelligent worker, and then the, people who consider them her masters being like, oh yeah, I can fetch a good price for her, or I can train her to, serve me extra good, or my kids extra well. Because it was really reminiscent, like so much of it was very, very reminiscent of the Ona Judge memoir, Never Caught, about the Washington. And the same thing too of like,
obsessed.
This extreme,
obsessed.
I guess that to me was the part that I struggled with most with the book emotionally, was just the people who consider themselves white and how they couldn't understand why slaves would want to run away, or why they wouldn't want to be their slaves. It's like, I'm so awesome. Why don't you want to be my slave?
And I'm confused as to why that would be confusing.
They would literally get angry every time, like the slaves would be like, I wanna be free. And it's like, the fuck? I'm like, why would you?
I'm being nice to you. You can sleep at the foot of my bed and nurse my babies at night so I don't have to get up.
It's like,
why don't you want to be here?
Ungrateful wench. Like, how are you not wanting? I guess, and that's something I still struggle with now a lot of times with white supremacists, where there's this real disconnect as to why we're not more grateful. This whole thing of like, why, I guess this whole denial of another person's humanity. That always, we even see it now because, you know, that was a big theme of the book was parent-child separation, because that makes you so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And we see that so much now in immigrant populations that they're trying to do that too. And
honestly, though, it feels very American. Like, this has been something that has occurred. I mean, when you think of any marginalized group throughout history, that is like 101 tactics, right, by the American government. Like, we are going to separate families. We're going to send them to boarding schools, whether they're indigenous folks. We're going to, you know, now, like you're saying about the borders. So it feels very, it's so familiar, but it's crazy because we're talking about 1861, you know what I mean? Or 1859 or whatever.
Well, it starts a little earlier than that, because she was just saying, like, her story, at least with her parents and stuff, because it's coming like right after the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I was growing up, they left a lot of the sort of the slavery sort of incentives around the Revolutionary War, because one of the reasons that the U.S. wanted to part from Britain wasn't just it was taxes, and, you know, King George did suck, but also because England was getting away from the slave trade. And part of what they did to entice enslaved people to fight for the British was to say that, hey, we'll give you your freedom. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I don't know about you, but I've been like, I'm going with the side that's gonna let me at least
be regular,
let me keep my earnings. Like, to me, that was one of the saddest parts in the book was her grandmother, because her grandmother was
she was a free woman too.
She was a free woman. Well, not at first though.
So she was formerly enslaved, but she gained her freedom because she worked. So people like in the community and stuff knew her as like a baker.
Well, it wasn't just her work, because Dr. Flint, even though her former mistress had promised her freedom when she died, Dr. Flint was like, any promise made to a slave is not legally enforceable. So he was going to sell her, and then everyone was too ashamed to bid on her
because they were like,
because they knew what was up. And so finally, I can't remember the woman's, was it Mrs. Bruce or something? No, not Mrs. Bruce, but it was another woman in the community who was like,
who bought her for like $50
and
was
then
like, girl,
set her free, because she was like, this is
a
ugly.
shame. Yeah.
And so she really, it was just but that was the thing too, where she was able to save up like $3,000, which was a huge amount of money.
That's a lot
back
now.
then. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd take that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take $3,000.
But she had saved up $300 just by working, or $3,000, and then the Dr. Flint, because apparently he was terrible with money. That's the thing. You got every opportunity in the world to make
borrowed some money from them.
That's what I'm saying. He said he was borrowing it.
Yeah.
But once again, any promise made to a slave is not legally enforceable. So he was just reneged on that and was just kept that money, and was stayed broke. Because I strongly believe any money that's stolen is cursed. Like, he was, I mean, it seemed like the rest of his life he never could get some money together. He was always scraping and borrowing. Even when he was trying to chase Harriet down later on, he had to borrow $500 to go to New York and stuff. And it's like, you're not even going to get that much money if you sold her. So it's just about
the energy. I honestly just couldn't get over the amount of energy. It was just really, really crazy.
And gross.
But how much of like your ego is attached to that? And it made me think about just the dynamics. Because, you know, we always say, you know, niggas exist to make them feel good, right? Like, there has to be this subculture in your mind, or you have to dehumanize people to make it okay. And it's like, but how bad do you fucking have to feel? Because even enslaved people were looking for joy all the time. Like, that's all we're ever doing. Like, why isn't that your pursuit? And then when it is your pursuit, why is it at the expense of somebody else's livelihood, life, children, what they're producing? Like, why is your happiness so deeply connected to what I'm producing? You know what I'm saying? Like, in for you, in a way, or I don't know. It just seems weird. It just seems like I don't feel like inherently I can relate to that, because at the end of the day, like I will always say, we mostly just want to be left alone. I don't think that when I think about the people I know, it's like, yeah, we just want to be left alone, and like, you just want to be able to go about your fucking day. Like, I don't want to have to interface with you and be like, I noticed you had a bag of ice. It's like, Why are you? That was a callback to before the show,
Patreon,
guys, and we were talking.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just like
Yeah.
that. Basically saying like, there are always these. They always say that Black people can never be lonely because there's always somebody. There is this sense of like. I don't know what that is. Like you're always being perceived in a way. And then when it's accompanied by something as sick as slavery, like an institution and a government sanctioned, just, I don't know, abomination. It feeds into the worst part of that ego where you're like, okay, yeah. So, because it makes me think about the part in the book where she was describing this person of the dominant culture who was physically disabled, and they still found the time to like beat their slave to the best of their ability. And it was like, and when they couldn't, they'd have to call the constable to come do it. And it's like, and they went on to describe how this particular enslaved man was like going hard to do all, obviously like an enslaved person does, but it's like this person is affording you can't even walk. Like hearing her describe that, I was just like, this is
been more
sick.
murders. Like everyone's far too good. Like I think, and so part of the reason we wanted to read this book was it was mentioned in last week's book, The Girls Who Grew Big, and just this. I mean, like I said, we're talking about these absolute atrocities, and you still have women who feel ashamed for having premarital sex. And to me, the contrast of the amount of guilt that our protagonist felt at having premarital sex with...
She felt so bad. That was so sad.
That was.
So lay it out real quick for the people, real quick, just so they can know what we're talking about.
So she's called Linda in the book, but Harriet, she's... she's a young girl, and actually she said she didn't even know she was a slave until she was 6. She had actually had a pretty soft life up until then, but then had to go live with Dr. Flynn, and she was technically his daughter's slave, but he was like, yeah, you're going to be my slave.
My daughter has a vagina, she doesn't have rights, so you're really mine, but I'm going to pretend like until she's married.
And has like a male protector and stuff like that. But yeah, he was just so sick, and she was just talking about how he was always saying this dirty stuff to her, even though he was married. He was this respected doctor in the community, but she was just like always trying to be around other people, relatable, trying to be around other people, so I'm never alone with him and stuff. And so finally she did find a man who wanted to marry her, and he refused and wouldn't
give the consent for it to happen, because he was a free man of color.
And
because it was almost like he couldn't believe that she wouldn't want him again. That just goes back to like, I don't, the disconnect is wild. Like, why would you think?
She was calling her like a vile creature for and basically
I'm supposed to be so flattered that you're...
So finally, when he runs that guy off, she takes up with a white man who basically, just whispers like, yeah, I'll buy you, I'll buy her kid, and she gets pregnant by him twice. And so when she first gets pregnant, she's so embarrassed to tell her grandmother. And actually, her grandmother does go off on her.
She did.
Because once again, it's purity culture.
Yes,
purity culture
very
is
much so.
Always
pervasive.
the enemy. Because
Linda,
she's like, actually, she's an amazing person. She's in no way a bad person, but she felt like she was such a piece of shit for sleeping with this guy who was promising her a good life. Of course, he was foolish, he wasn't about nothing, Mr. Sands or whatever.
Yeah, Mr. Sands, yeah.
He was, he wasn't the worst, but he really didn't understand how at risk he was putting her and
his children.
When that even happens now. When you are a person who doesn't really have full freedom, if you have children, you're just breeding hostages. And so... Damn. Yeah.
When you say it like that, it's like...
Yeah. And so it made it really hard for her. But she said, too, she wasn't even really thinking about running away until she realized, like, I have to get freedom for my children because I do not want them going through what I've gone through. So,
yeah. Well, that made me think, if I might, just and we can come back to this point, but just how children can shift what you're willing to do for yourself. We even saw that in the book last week. How, motherhood expands your sense of what you're capable of and what you're willing to do on behalf of your kids. It was really beautiful to see like the tenacity and the dedication for her to try to even if it was like an inch of a better life, you know what I mean? Like she was willing to put herself in a really fucked up situation, which we'll get to.
Yeah, because that was, it was just terrible. So, this girl, she's just working from dusk till dawn. Here's another thing that was like a theme in the book. Like slaves were always so afraid to steal from their quote unquote masters, even though their entire lives are being stolen from them. Because that was the other thing for me. There was one escaped slave who, when his master died, he took some of the money and put it in the guy's pockets, and then when the people came by later, he was like, well, can I have the pants? And they were like, yeah, you can have the pants. And so he's like, so I just technically didn't steal because they gave it to me. But I was like, so what? Your whole life has been stolen from you. And you feel like, what? Like this would, like you somehow be in the wrong if you...
because you're being indoctrinated in a culture that's pretending to be Christian. That's the cosplaying part about it, right? So they're using that to make you feel like you're already a slave, right? Or enslaved. So that already puts you here. And then on top of that, now, they're able to use that doctrine to kind of be like, well, are you being pure of heart? Are you being, and it's like when the rules are not the same for me.
No.
It's kind of like if you're starving, do you get, it's like those philosophical questions that you ask when it's like, but if I'm starving though, and I steal the bread to feed my kids though,
like Jean
is that still bad? Yeah.
Because that actually did make me think a lot of the French Revolution. Because what was being done here in America was just sort of bastardized version of European serfdom, where you're not allowed to, like you belong to the land, like serfs.
Indentured servants. And stuff,
serfs weren't people, they were serfs. And so if you tried to dress above your station or leave the fiefdom, they could have you whipped or killed.
Funny word, fiefdom.
Isn't that fun? Yeah. Or once again, the Lord could have the Lord of the manor could have his way with any of the wenches he saw fit.
It's just gross.
It is very, very gross. And it's this sort of. It's just more than ironic that the whole idea of America was born out of this idea that we're getting freedom, we're getting away from that, but let's do it to the Negroes, though, because they're not people.
It's not me, right? Again, so like now that you've created this different class of people in your mind, it kind of gives you feel like it's your right and duty, right? It's the white man's burden, like I'm supposed to.
And my whole thing is like, we should have done what the French did, which was like, you know what? We should cut these motherfuckers' heads off.
In real time. And that was the one conversation I really liked that Linda had was when she was traveling. And she was, I don't know if it was to Europe or where she was going, but she had to get on a train. And then, it might have been when she was in the North, but she realized like, okay, you're not really free here. They're just, you can't ride in certain cars. So they're going to put you.
Same amount.
And so she was just kind of like, I'm not going back here with my child. And like went and talked to the train conductor and all this stuff. And so I guess he ended up being like, okay, fine, we'll let you do this thing. And she was like, this is what everybody should do. Nobody should sit back, and allow this. She was just making, and I like that she makes the point, because that energy was there. And again, that's probably because she, I will acknowledge, like, she did have more privilege in terms of, like, she didn't, she wasn't a field laborer. She wasn't, but by no means did she have a cushy, comfortable fucking life. Like, even her observing the poorest people when she did go to Europe, she was like, this is still
better than
heads and shoulders above the most well-treated enslaved person. Yeah. So let's just put that out there. But I just thought, wow, it was nice to see that, because I always think like, where would I have fallen in a society where you just see, you just get in line. I think about that now, like how people probably feel right now as things are like crumbling, and we're seeing like rights being rolled back and, things going back to a place where you feel like, okay, so this is great when people don't have access to, affordable anything, and reproductive rights are being rolled back and all this kind of stuff. And then
we have the clergy laying out what people can and
theocracy
can't do.
is fully trying to come into the scene. So, for me, it's sad because I feel like, she's posing these questions in the book where she's like, dear reader, I feel like this is an important thing to chronicle because in 100 years, we'll be able to study our history and look back and see how we've advanced. And I want to be like,
yeah, this is how it really was. It wasn't just these like oil paintings where we're like,
no. No.
And just know every stitch of clothing George Washington had on them paintings were made by slaves.
Thank you. Like,
and they weren't happy about it. Like that happy slave myth.
It's not. It's because
he was a human trafficker.
Dude.
Like they were constantly trying to get away from that dude. Like because it was an interesting thing too when people were like, well, what was about states' rights? And so there were the free states and the slave states. And so it was really just about, the southern states wanted the right to rule themselves. But it's like the reason why, even George Washington, he would move his slave states because he was from Virginia. But I think, where was the capital of the U.S. for a while? It was in Philly for a while, the capital.
I don't remember.
And Philadelphia was a free state.
Okay.
So while he was there doing his stuff, he had to have his slaves there because what were him and Martha supposed to do there?
Am I supposed to get up and get my own milk at night?
Yeah. Like,
wipe my own
so
ass?
they would still bring their slaves there, and there was a rule that after 30 days, anybody who was in a free state, you became a free person.
Oh, so
and
now you gotta shift them around like Tetris.
Yes.
Yeah.
So exactly. So after 29 days, you'd have to go back to Virginia and restart the clock.
Wow.
And he always made sure not to transport families together so they wouldn't run off and stuff like that. So
just
diabolical. It was very calculated. It was very evil. It was very pernicious.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting to me too because a lot of these people, slavers, they died in terror because they were really you're at the end of the day you're still a human being, and this was a terrible way to live. Human beings are not meant to live like this.
Yeah, it's mean to y'all. Like that's the thing. Like you're living outside of the natural order of life. Like that's not how it's supposed to be.
It's not.
At all.
And so it was really interesting to see like the nice white people who were willing to help and how happier they seemed.
Man.
And like the mean ones just seemed so miserable. And even George Washington, he died very scared. Like he was not, and he kept redoing his will and was trying to maybe free some people, but he was like, okay, well, I'll do it like this. Y'all can be free after Martha dies, his wife.
Because she can't be here without you.
Yeah, she'll have to have
they
that.
don't want to do, what in the, what?
But guess what? They kept setting the house on fire. So
Good.
Finally, Martha was like, I'm just going to free him because these niggas is
here.
trying to kill me.
Good.
Yeah, so...
I mean, because that's the thing. What are at a certain point, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
There's only so much, and then that's when it gets
irritating.
It gets real irritating when it's just turn the other cheek. You want to keep handing me this Bible.
I'll turn my other cheek so you can kiss.
Man, that part,
The blackest part of my ass.
The blackest, most dungeness part, okay? And I can't, it's just, I don't know how much the amount of abuse, the amount of, again, that psychological torture that they like to do and try to make it seem like, oh, this is so great and you should come back and blah, blah, blah. But let's get to the part that makes her the Black Anne Frank, though, because we ain't really got to the actual part that makes this the American Anne Frank.
So she overhears Dr. Flynn saying that he's going to bring, because at the time when she's serving Dr. Flynn, her kids are living with her grandmother, having a pretty good life. And so he overhears Dr. Flynn and his wife talking about they're going to bring her kids to the plantation to break them and make them slaves. And so when she hears about that, she's like, no, I got to get up out of here. So, because she also knew that they wouldn't keep the kids up there if she wasn't there to take care of them. So she decides to kind of fake run away. So she makes it seem like she goes to the free states, but really was it her brother or her uncle made...
I think it was her uncle.
Yeah, he created not an attic, because Anne Frank was in the attic, so she was in this sort of subterranean shelter that her uncle... Was it her uncle?
I think it was her uncle.
Made for her to hide out in, and it was a dingy little dungeon, basically. But she was able to kind of see out of it and stuff like that. And she didn't tell her kids she was there. The only people that knew she was there was just her grandma and her uncle and a couple other people. But it was, and basically she hid out there for 7 years.
My God.
And like almost lost her ability to walk. Because she couldn't move around in there.
Well, and think about being in an attic though. Like if you've ever been in an old house, like I know growing up in Detroit and stuff, most of the houses have like attics and people use them as rooms and stuff like that. But you do have to get them insulated and then have heating and or cooling in there, because it's like, dude, in the summertime it's hot as in an attic.
And it gets very cold.
Right, and it's in the South, so it's like you just have these shingles and stuff, so when the sun's beating down, you're laying in this thing. She said it was like 9 by 7. Like she could barely sit up all the way in it. She couldn't stand or whatever, so you're just like crawling around. She had to create the little space for her to see. It was just, I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. And do you think that if she would have known she would have spent all of that time in there, that she would have done that? Because again, like it was supposed to be temporary.
Yeah, I think she would.
You think, yeah.
Yeah.
If she would have known, hey, you got to be here for 7 days.
Because she was able to see her kids.
Yeah, and hear
stuff
them.
Like that.
Oh my
'Cause
God.
I think if that wasn't part of it, no. But I think the fact that she was able to hear and see her kids, that helped to... and the fact that she was able to kind of keep an eye too on Dr.
What's
Flint
going on,
and kind of hear the stuff or whatever. So when she finally does get an opportunity, I cried when she finally got to talk to the daughter before she left.
I know, that was so.
Oh my God, that was just because I just can't imagine. I mean,
but the fact that, and is it because you don't want to take care of your kids? Like you literally, I can't even imagine wanting somebody to be the wet nurse of my child because I don't want to get up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so is it just different? Like
I guess
it's like you don't want to take care of your own fucking kids. You don't want to be around them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because at a certain point, what privilege does provide for you is access to care. But I think maybe because culturally speaking, when we talk to our friends from other places, they're always dumbfounded by the amount of solitude in the motherhood experience, which we kind of touched on last week too, in the girls who grew big. And to say that like parenthood, motherhood specifically, like, yeah, it lends itself to community. It lends itself to the grandmas that help out, the aunties, the sisters, the friends, because it's hard as fuck, right? But at the same time, you needing that help or requiring that help in that community is different than supposing that you don't have any sort of fucking stake in taking care of your kids. So I can't relate to wanting a stranger, no less somebody who I feel like is subhuman, to be like nursing my kids.
Well, what if it's your half sister because your dad craped your mom? Oh my God. Does that help?
No.
Oh, okay.
But isn't that a fun sitch?
Yeah, that's usually the situation is
so gross. It's just so weird. But that was a heart-wrenching scene when she got to speak with her daughter. It was very, very sweet. And so let's walk them through real quick. So she ends up leaving, and then you do it. Go.
Oh, so yes, she was. At first she wasn't gonna leave. The grandma talked her out of it and had somebody else take her place. But then
her friend Fanny, who was in a very similar situation, unfortunately.
A lot. Yeah, it was not an uncommon situation. But the boat got delayed, and then what ended up happening that spurred her into action?
So what spurred her into action was, there was some nosy Uncle Ruckus ass bitch named Jenny who one time was trying to get into the attic one time, and she didn't know who it was, and then the person who was helping her at first,
I just heard the tuba music too for Uncle Ruckus.
Boom, boom, boom. It was definitely that.
Like, account nigger is so ungrateful for all the white man has done for you.
She was one of them. And so she ended up, I think her grandma was in there talking to her or something like that. And then she busted in and she was like, she ducked down and was like, I don't think she saw me. But the granny was like, look, I didn't want you to go, but that bitch, we don't trust her. You're gonna have to go.
I'm
now.
Getting too old
to be I'm tired. I got an ulcer.
She's like, no, just go. Go. So she leaves on the boat, and the sea captain was super nice. Once again, shout out to all the nice white people. Who once again, because at the end of the day, that's just a better life for you.
But it's gotta be hard though, right?
I don't know because I don't like being mean So
but also people are gonna be mean to you though. You know, like that's the other part.
I mean, that's the thing.
But like they're gonna be mean to you though.
People are mean to me all the time.
That man touched your arm today gingerly.
That was yesterday, but still.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
People are jerks, but I think as life goes on, you realize being nice to people just feels better to me. I don't know. Like, that's just me. Love feels better. And so he's like super kind, gets them to where they're going, and she's able to make it to not New York, but where did
it was New York.
It was New York. Well, I feel like they had a layover before they went to New York. Like she had to layover somewhere. Anyway, she made it one of the free states and then made it to New York and was finally able to see her daughter. Or the daughter hadn't left yet. Wait, had the daughter
She
left
ended
yet?
up seeing the daughter, but I don't know if it was
the
before
daughter had
she
been
there
sent
for a
away.
while.
The son hadn't left yet. That's what it was.
Yeah, the
son
daughter
still
was
the
with an
grandmother.
adopt. Yeah, she agreed to have the other family adopt
right,
her.
because they were saying that she was going to go to a school, but that ended up being the okie doke. The doctor had actually just given her to a relative.
Yep.
And she was still in a service role. And so she's able to get on the boat. There's a lot of back and forth because it was never easy, but at the end of it, she was able to, after years and years, save up a little bit of money, not enough to buy a house yet. I don't know if she ever got that. But
I don't know. I think at the end of the book, she still was like saying that she hadn't gotten to that point. But
she was working towards it, but just for her kids and stuff like that. But she was able to secure her freedom and her children's freedom.
Because somebody bought her, right? Wasn't it like for $300?
Yeah, that was Mrs. Bruce.
Yes. So she was somebody that she ended up working for.
And she really didn't even want to do that, but Miss Bruce was like, enough is enough. We got to get this done. Because Dr. Flynn finally died, but then his daughter was like, because everyone's broke as hell and they just see her as a payday. And
we really want you to come home. We will let you buy your... It's like, dude, you think I'm this stupid?
And that was so funny, too, because that was the owner judge thing. That was George Washington was trying to run that game, too. Where he's just like, we know you're probably tired, and we hear how terrible it is for Negroes in the North, so... And they're like, man...
Nah,
I'm cool.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's really, really... If you haven't heard these, like, slave memoirs, it's really difficult to communicate how hellish the slave experience was for Black Americans. Actually, even now, like the South is not a bowl of cherries. Like this is the problem with lies, because white supremacy is a lie. So when you build your life on a lie, because reality isn't going to bear out this lie. You know what I mean? Like it's just like when Hitler had a problem, you know, when they were at the Olympics and he was like, the Aryan man is the superior super whatever. And then Jesse Owen is smoking your ass in front of the world. Yeah. In front of the world.
So what was that? What was that?
He was like, what were you saying about the women? He's like, you know what, I'm going to do a line of coke.
Right. I'm just going to leave. Right.
Like, yeah. It's fun I also like to remind people Hitler was on a ton of drugs.
Yeah. Like Elon.
Like Elon. And probably like Trump. I feel like he's on some ephedrine.
He definitely. He don't sleep.
Them bags. Just terrible. And in the Epstein files, and we haven't talked about that, have we? Because honestly, every time they talked about Dr. Flynn, I just pictured Donald J. Trump. Because when we talk about like who we would have been back then, who do you think he would have been back then?
Right. That.
Yeah.
Chasing after. I mean, and it's
broke as hell.
It's so disheartening because it's like
assaulting women.
Because you feel like that's all that's the only thing that makes you feel good about yourself. Like there's something that's deeply fucking sad about that to me. It's like, really? Because nothing, like you said, I mean, like choosing happiness and love seems so much better because it's like, those are actually pleasant things, but I can't even, it's so hard for me to put myself in a place that's so desolate in my soul that the only thing that would make me feel better is that. You know what I mean? Even with all the vengeance that I could conjure up in my heart, like it would feel great to blow some motherfuckers up if I'm just being honest. Like that would be great.
Like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to do that. That's like that's when it's like, okay, we've now left, like I have to leave my humanity behind a little bit and now have to shift gears into something else. And it's like, I don't want to be that something else. I can be. People can be that, but it's like, why do you want to function on that program? The program seems awful.
It does.
The ladies are miserable. The wives are like, you're jealous.
You had a thing in there too about the role of white women and all this.
Yeah, let's go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Yeah.
Oh, the complicit role that like a lot of white women play.
Yeah, because I was listening to Deontay Kyle the other day. That's
Shout out to the Grits and Eggs podcast.
Big fan.
Yes.
And do the knowledge.
Do the knowledge. See, that's what we doing right now.
That's what we doing now.
Doing the
knowledge.
Yes.
And he made a very good point. Let me see if there it goes. White women could own slaves before they could vote.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was very telling. That says everything.
I was trying to give them something to hold on to. It's like, well, we don't care about your actual opinion, but here's somebody that you can boss, because it ain't gonna be me.
It ain't gonna be me.
So,
but I think that really kind of wraps America up in a nutshell. And if you want to know like why white women keep supporting Trump and and everything that don't serve their own interests.
Because they want their Cool Ranch freedoms, guys.
They do. They want their Cool Ranch freedoms. But not really, though. Because if they wanted their Cool Ranch freedoms, they would have been fighting for the vote instead of for the right to, beat their slaves.
But
you know what I'm saying?
I'll take that because I don't really think that's going to happen. I don't have enough tenacity to actually go after what the fuck I want.
Right. Even though it happened.
Because at the end of the day, I don't even want to take care of my kids, low-key.
So I
saying.
think books like this are really important because even though it's an absolute, like I said, it is depressing. It's hard to read. Like you don't feel good reading this. But it does make you realize that things can change and you should keep fighting until the war is won. Because when people are like, well, that's never going to happen. They said the same thing about ending slavery. And it's like, well, it's just the same as it was back then. No, it's not. No, it is not. Look at us. We're just two mouthy negresses chatting up in Indiana. They used to want to be able to string us up for that. They can't.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, they're trying to work for that now.
They are. They're trying to make it great again. Don't
get me wrong.
Don't get it twisted. But that's why the fight, that's why I like Steven Universe. Like it's never, the fight is never over.
Unfortunately,
you have to keep fighting. Every day you have to fight.
Oh my God.
But if you do keep fighting, you can make advances. So my life, I have more privileges than my grandmother had. And I'm very deeply grateful to the people like Harriet Jacobs and the abolitionists and everyone who, even though they're being told it's hopeless, don't even try it. All the Uncle Ruckuses of it all. Everyone who tries to be like, you might as well just do whatever these white people are saying because they ain't never gonna change. No, there's nice white people. And if you're in the South, it might not feel like it, but there are. They just all went north.
Well, and at the end of the day, too, I think there just still needs to be, like how her grandma showed up for her. We still need to be in community with each other and making sure we're supporting each other and not selling each other out. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we have to create that safety net. I feel like that's a theme that I've seen over and over again in different books. You know, when we talk about sinners, you know, that was to me one of the main messages of what's really important is building a community around ourselves, because that is really, that should be our safe place. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also too, just the literacy of it all. Like I thought it was compelling to me to hear Harriet Jacobs at the beginning of the book talking about how she's like, I'm just some lowly wretch. I don't know that I'm qualified to tell these stories because, you know, I'm thinking how eloquently she was able to, and how beautifully she was able to tell her story about something so painful, but also just hearing her express, even just from like a simple, you know, her enjoying just like being up on that boat for the first time, and just how like Aaron's son was something that was like, damn, I didn't even know that was like a luxury.
And teaching other slaves how to read.
Yes.
Like that was a really important thing too. So listen, reading.
It's part of the reason why we're here. Get y'all into it because it's important. It's just truly important. These are not stories we want to forget about. I think they are extremely important. Is this a good time to take a break?
What's that little move Beyonce been doing on tour? Like
I don't know. I ain't seen nothing. I ain't been watching TV.
It's a little.
I ain't seen nothing, Jesus.
They've been doing real cute stuff.
Adorable, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's very cute. But yeah,
I'm gonna learn it on the break, and then we'll come back and we'll do it together.
All right.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye. We'll be right back. And we're back, friend. Because you were about to say some stuff.
I was. Well, I was
the people
talk
know
about
what you were
the
thinking.
role of religion in all this.
Please do.
Because it was so hardcore used to justify a lot of this stuff. And it's just, it was a double-edged sword because it was also used as a way to help people gain literacy, which is a good thing. But it was also used to promote this sort of purity culture and this idea of like, you got to serve your masters, you know.
Girl, even Harriet's brother, like I thought that was interesting too, because when they were younger, when they were trying to convince him that he was, because they, like you said, she didn't even realize they were enslaved when they were younger because of the treatment from their family. And then once that lady died and they had to go with the flints and stuff, her brother was like, what the fuck is this shit?
I can't do this.
He was like, hell no, I'm getting the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, I can only die once.
Right. And I mean,
hey,
I can only die once, because what I'm not gonna do is because I know I'm free. Like the innate knowing
give
of
us free.
Like, dude, I'm not getting ready to do this. So I just thought that was really interesting how, you know, like some people have that innately, and it's probably, again, because, you know, the first few years of your life, you experience that. And so that lends itself to, you see Harriet's journey too, just as the more knowledge that she acquired, the more reading, the more exposure she had to different ways of life and how things could be. That's what kept her hopeful. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, well, the Lord will provide. And it's like, I mean, also, I have a responsibility to demand certain
rights,
and to push up and to push back against some of this stuff that they're trying to say, because you see the hypocrisy, because she internalized some of that purity culture and some of those Christian values, but that her brother was like, because I think even the granny was like, you know, I implore you to, you know, I don't know, I forget what it was, but it was something like, like, be merciful, don't feel bad about it. He was like, you're a better Christian than me. I can't do that.
I ain't doing that, yeah.
That's not for me. I'm not on that bullshit. Like, I don't even know how you're doing it, actually.
Yes.
I don't even know how you're, because they tried to sell you. You know, they're on some bullshit. Like, how are you? So that there is this juxtaposition, I think, in our culture too, between, you know, like that more, if it's just the Malcolm, just to give a broader sort of idea, the Malcolm versus the MLK peaceful approach. And, you know, I think it depends.
Like Xavier versus Magneto.
Yes, all of the things. And it's just like those two things coming up against each other.
And guess what? Magneto was right. Peace was never an option.
And we just want to be left alone, though, y'all.
But the thing is, peace is an option if
you would leave me alone, it would be.
Or I think Malcolm said it better. I'm nonviolent with people who are nonviolent with me.
Put a giant period behind that.
Yeah,
I wish that could pop up with the little dots.
And that would always leave people like, because historically self-defense has always been deemed violence when it comes from Black people.
That's the only time.
Yeah. Whereas in a court of law, if it's self-defense, that isn't violence. But when Black people do it, now it's violence. And it also reminds me very much of a story of Cecile from St. Louis, when she tried to kill her, or not tried, she straight up killed her slave master for raping her. Like, she finally got sick of he'd been raping her since she was 14.
It's disgusting.
And finally, when she was 19, had, I think, 2 of his babies, and was sick of it. She was ready to marry a Black man, run off with him. And he was telling her, like, you got to call it off with him. It's like, this isn't a relationship. He's raping me. Like, I don't know what to do. And so finally, she told him, it's like, if you come to my cabin tonight, she's like, don't come to my cabin tonight. Like, I'm not having this anymore. And he showed up anyway, and she had that stick for him.
And
bashed his brains out, cut him up, and burned him up in the fire. And when she was found out, they put her on trial and hanged her. Because you can't, they found that, yes, a woman is allowed to defend herself from rape, but Cecile was not a woman.
Man, give me a break.
So
it's disgusting.
And so I really do see her as a martyr to slavery. But once again, they've said it over and over in the book, it's better to be dead than a slave. Period.
It happened a bunch, and they even talked about instances where people would run away and drown themselves, and again the wide open dumbness of not being able to perceive, like, why somebody would choose death over being with you, motherfucker. Yes,
give me liberty or give me
single
death.
Time.
That's what's always interesting
give
about
me a
this.
Break.
This is during a time when America is burgeoning. This whole idea of freedom that became this inspiration to the world of what a free society could be, at the same time completely enslaving the people on the fallacious concept of race. Because I think it's doesn't get talked about enough, but race isn't a thing. It's a pseudoscience that sprung out of eugenics and phrenology, which aren't real. They were just fake things that were
made up,
created by people who call themselves scientists, but as real scientists will tell you today, there's no biological reality in race. Like, people do come in different colors, no one's denying that, but that doesn't make you a distinct species from everyone else because you're paler. And then, like I said, it doesn't even come down to the paleness of your skin. You're lighter than some people who are legally black.
True.
Or legally white, rather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all pretty dumb.
Man, who was the teen who killed her rapist? It was a young brown girl. And she got all this prison time, but there was a lot of people like protesting and stuff saying that it wasn't fair. And so like you're saying it like you're giving us an example of back in the day, but I'm like, this shit still is happening now.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, this is still happening. And this is why I feel bad that Harriet, I can't tell, like if I was writing a book to her, if I could send her in, like a time capsule of 2025, I'd have to say, girl, this just still happened. Like we had a young girl who tried to kill her rapist and she went to prison. But meanwhile, if you get a white man who was the one little dude that raped that girl sexually assaulted that girl behind the dumpster when she was drunk and stuff. You know, it's like boy will be boy. Yeah. Or even just the recent guy who was I think he was a medical student, a pre-med student or something like that. And he just sexually assaulted a girl.
Them, so I get
it's
them
so
confused.
many. There's so many of them. And it's like, you're going to ruin his
adversely
life.
affect his life.
Yeah,
It's like, it is a punishment.
So,
because like, and her life's kind of ruined too.
Kind of, just a little bit.
That's going to be something she'll have to live with every day of her life as well. So
it's just sad. I just wish that I could tell her a better story about the way things are going.
This is mostly your fault for being so uppity and thinking you're as good as a white man.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say that. You're probably right. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that, actually. Okay. I was raised by uppity Negro, so of course I got that too. So, but yeah, I mean, this book was. It was beautiful in a lot of ways. It was painful, but also these are the stories we can't forget, y'all. I'm like, as much as we want to bury them and pretend like they don't exist, I'm not saying we have to spend all of our days and nights ruminating over the fact that slavery existed, but also...
And we don't want to do this to white people now. Like, we don't want to flip the table and, like, oppress and enslave. That's not...
Bitch, I'm too tired to.
It looked ugly.
I don't want it.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Like, I think life is better when we're all...
Just leave me alone. That's all I will ask.
Yeah, I like freedom for everybody. Yeah. I think we all do better when we all do better.
Have fun.
This is what bothers me about these stories. It makes them hard to read. I hate that any human being had to go through this.
It's really, really
and
dumb.
No one deserves this. Slavery has always been a bad thing, no matter what they try to say about how, things were better during slavery. Families were together. Black people were taught skills. They weren't just the shiftless Negroes that they are now.
Yeah.
And no.
Shiftless. Look at this motherfucker.
It was very much about... Oh, I did see that in Arkansas. Yeah, they're trying to have once again, these exist everywhere. They're just called communes, because that's what pretty much Utah
They're
is
just called
about.
Arkansas.
Yeah, they're just called Arkansas.
Regular ass. It's
Utah.
like Whitesville
or like
Indiana.
Carmel a couple years ago.
Fuck out of here. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so what I just was pulling this up because I was like, this could be a good Stranger Than Fiction story because it ties into our topic today, which is basically, racism, that kind of stuff, and how it's, again, like, I'd have to say, Harriet, girl, guess what? They want all white communities. So this is the Independent. The headline is Whites Only Community Plotting Expansion to Another State as its efforts to build a white nation continue. What you mean building? A whites only community. And so they traditional views and European ancestry and all this stuff.
Why not go to Europe?
I don't know why. Because there's brown people there too. You're not escaping them.
Here's the thing. You're not going to... First off, all white people have come from black people. Like every single person on this planet.
They won't accept it.
They won't. They really do believe like, well, Adam and
Well, because you have to create a story that supports your narrative, right? So of course you have to say that, but
then and then the Negroes just came because God cursed them. Because
throw up the cartoon where the sun goes down and their faces turn black.
Yes, it was that
What a
Mormon?
great, a Mormon one. It's like, and now you're
Neophytes
cursed.
or the Leonites, whatever it was. And then because God's people were naturally white and delightsome. I like that people come in different colors.
It's real
Like, it
dumb.
would be really boring if everybody was just one color.
Well, and who
like,
wants
not even
to go
the
there?
iPhones come in one color. Like, everybody likes it when you have a choice of colors.
I don't want to go to where he's at. Do you see him?
Once again, he could be
Fuck
nice
outta here,
if
sir.
if his parents didn't suck. You know what I mean?
Or if his parents were nice and he somehow just got on the internet and went all the way the fuck to the other side of it.
This is just anecdotal, just in my life, because I've known all different types of people. Non-racist white people tend to be hotter. I think racism makes you
I feel
uglier.
like you've said that before.
Quite honestly, like when
But
you
they're not
look at
racist.
When
They
you look at
just-
the MAGA people, every time I look at them
They're
people,
gross,
they
man.
are so like it's so weird how like it's ugly. Because I remember growing up, like, ugly wasn't a way to describe someone's appearance. It was how they act.
Yeah.
It's like, you being real ugly right now. And it corrupts your soul. So, I feel like most people want to be hot. They keep getting them injections and stuff. That's not doing it. Like, just, like, treat people well and use some sunscreen.
That's so true, guys. I might add this little article. If you guys haven't heard about this group, it's in a remote part of the Ozarks in northeastern Arkansas. And reportedly, they're exploring the possibility of expanding into Missouri. But basically, it's called Return to the Land. It describes itself as a private membership association for individuals with, air quotes, traditional values and European ancestry. Opened its first community in Arkansas in October of 23. And so, again, like, they want to expand. And it's just like, they feel like multiculturalism is forced integration. And I mean, isn't that really the issue? I think you say that all the time in terms of like, let's just call this what this is. Making America great. It's just, let's return back to segregation, which it's like we don't have to return back to it. Like if you look at cities, the way things are redlined, the way things happen, y'all make sure that things are pretty fucking separate. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, yeah, you have there is some blending of the lines, but there's so many social, economic reasons why communities aren't necessarily integrated. You know what I mean? So it's not like a legal thing, but it's a lot of other factors. So I just feel like this seems like a joke.
And the legal definition of whiteness has changed so much
all
over
the
the
time.
years. Like
all
there's
the
no true
time.
white man
all
anyway.
the time. And y'all hate that. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
They want to reclaim it. Like they're always talking about, we want to reclaim it like black people reclaim the N-word. Fuck out of here.
We didn't invent the N-word.
Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about?
Like,
we didn't invent whiteness either.
We sure did.
We were minding our business. So again, I implore you, leave us the fuck alone. That's
and also,
all
of this stuff always
all,
goes
that's
hand
it.
in hand with sexual assault. Like
All
it
of
never
it.
fails.
All
it
of
never
it.
fails. Whenever you hear any of this kind of talk about, we're keeping it
traditional. Don't read, ladies. Stay at home.
Because who was that dude?
Get pregnant.
Oh.
And let me cheat on you.
What was it was damn it. Oh, who was that guy who had that commune? It was like a offspring of Mormonism. Keep quiet, keep sweet, pray, and obey. That was the name of the documentary on YouTube.
Let's see if I can find him.
See if it was Warren Jeffs. Okay,
Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints,
which is that's Mormons. And so, but of course, it's a sect of Mormonism. And he's in jail right now. But trust me, that's a nice all-white commune that you could go to right now. And yes, they were very much sexually assaulting 12-year-olds.
Oh my goodness!
So that's
it just comes
what
down
purity
to that.
looks like.
Purity looks like oppressing groups that you've convinced yourself are subhuman, and then being able to move with impunity upon them, upon their autonomy. It's like ownership. Like you want, like there's something about American culture that means that when you are succeeding. Nope, you can't do that. This is not touchscreen. Bless your heart. I'm so sorry. He is so unattractive,
Look
guys,
at how
to the
this
point
is
where
what they want. Look at them. They're like,
hold up.
Look.
I want to pull this one up.
That is white purity right there.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if I can get it bigger.
I'll put it up in the thing.
Please.
I'll put it up in the thing. I promise.
Oh my gosh, look what came
But
up.
like, yeah. But
All that to say, it feels like if you have any kind of influence, any kind of money, anything, you want to be able to use it to oppress people. You definitely want to be able to use it to oppress people. You want to use it to be able to, like somehow that makes you feel better. I wish we could get away from that model. I wish that we could look internally and just feel good about ourselves because we feel like we bring value to the people around us.
Chilling.
And we just out here. Everybody's just trying. We all really do want the same shit. And I think it's just like to love and be loved and to be left alone. So I think we should probably rate the book, friend, so we can get the hell up out of here.
I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 escaped slave bills.
Ooh. Okay. I like that. And you know what? I have to give her 5 out of 5 rating of dang. I don't know, like hugs from your kids because
I know.
the way she longed for her kids, the way she loved her kids and was like right there but couldn't be there, and just how painful that is. And like no parent should have to be ripped away from their kids. And being reminded in this book also to that, like, you know, New Year's Day was like the day where you like were so scared that people were gonna, you know, rip your kids away because that was like, okay,
hiring day.
It's just, it makes you feel grateful. So I want to say hugs from your kids because I'm super grateful that I get to have those whenever I want to, when they're around.
And so I'm so deeply grateful for the ancestors
indeed,
who fought, of all different colors, who fought so that I have a legal right to my children.
Yep, and to talk freely.
Yeah.
And to learn how to read. Okay.
And to get a little tipsy on margaritas.
Yay!
Yes,
Okay.
I'm not allowed
sure
to drink
was.
either. That was illegal too.
Oh my God, man. They don't want us to have nothing.
Let's spin this
I'm
wheel.
sick of it. Spin it. Oh, yay.
Okay, so we need something fun and free.
Yes.
K-pop demons
Hunters.
Yes. So Netflix original, music, freedom, girl power.
Girl
I'm
power.
Here for it.
We
Have
need
you ever
it.
seen
We
this?
need it.
The Keep Sweet Playing Obey.
Hell no.
You don't. You need some
I need
time
it. We
to get away
need
from it,
K-pop
but-
demon
because
hunters
that
right
was,
now.
That was,
friends.
and you know what was really interesting about the Keep Sweet and Pray and Obey? Because of course they didn't want, you know, a big part of all of this control stuff is limiting what access, educational access people have and stuff like that.
Because I can manipulate you if
They
you don't know
ripped
nothing.
out all the cosmology from the science textbooks. They didn't want people learning
About the
about the
stars and
stars and stuff because that helps you escape. You can use the stars, follow the
to know where
drinking
you
board.
are. Right. Oh my gosh. K-pop demon hunters, guys, don't be alarmed. Demons is just, give me a break, guys. Let's
It's
just
I mean, in Asian cultures,
stay with us. We're not gonna lose you
it's
straight.
not-
Give me a
and
break. It has
and
some
they're
like
fighting the demons, so it's fine. It's
everything's fine. Let's not get into. Let's
Don't
stay
worry about
open-minded.
it.
It's
And
gonna be a great time.
It's cute.
It's very cute.
And your body belongs to you,
Yes,
which is why
thankfully.
slavery is bad.
That's so true, friend. And do the things you love because you know what, life is short, guys. And with that being said, hopefully you come back next week, guys, and check us out. Until next time, peace. We're out of here.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.